Yeah.
And then the second guy that I met, he defo lied about his height in that. Defo lied about his height. He goes to me that he's 5'10", and when I met him, he was like the same height as me, and I'm like 5'6", and I'm just like, where's the other 3 inches that you said?
What is going on, guys? Welcome to Bearded Discussion Podcast, the show that talks about what it means to be a man in the 21st century. I'm your host, Simon Binkowski, a self-proclaimed fitness fanatic, and I'm on a journey to challenge stereotypes about men. Every week, me and my guests will bring you amazing conversations about masculinity, relationships, fitness, sex, and many more. Now, let's jump into the show. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bearded Discussion Podcast. Today with me, my guest is my lovely friend, Akey Cartoon. Welcome to the show.
Whoop, whoop.
Hello, how you doing, Akey?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. I couldn't be better.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, very good. For those listening and watching this video, Akey is a creator of the One podcast, which you guys can find on Apple Podcasts and many other platforms such as Acast and SoundCloud. Am I correct?
So it's just on Apple and Acast right now.
Okay.
Is it Acast or is it Acast?
I don't know, to be fair.
I've been saying Acast, so if that's wrong, wow.
All right. Well, it's on Apple. Mainly
it's on Apple,
mainly,
and
so
Acast.
you can find it there.
Yeah.
You can find it there. So sort of regarding that, I wanted to ask you first and foremost, sort of how do you feel about podcasting? How are you finding podcasting so far? Because I know that you are 14 episodes in.
So I'm actually 11 episodes in.
Sorry.
So 11. So
I clearly did my homework. Right
No. That's fine. But I took a little break. So I took like 2 weeks off because I had so much going on in those 2 weeks. So I was just like, right now I should just take some time off and think, because my mind was like elsewhere and there was no time for me to record and edit at that time. So it was just a bit too much. So I was just like, let me just take some time off. But do you know what? Like at first, I can't lie. The first few episodes, I was a bit like, oh my God, what am I doing? I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. It was a new world to me, the whole editing procedure, the whole like technical side. I'm not a techie person. I hate technological things. I hate doing this editing, input, output, sounds. And I feel like I had to learn this stuff now. Whereas before I would just be like, oh, it's probably going to be easy. Like that was my first thing. I was just like, oh, how hard can it be? It's hard. It's hard when you have like a routine going on. But yeah, no, literally, I think that it's been a journey and I love it. I really do love it. But yeah, that's all I can say at the moment. And I think it's interesting as well because I try to keep it, different topics, different things. Like, I didn't want it to be that kind of a podcast where it's just like subjected to like one thing, like
I know
or like, I don't know, relationships. I just wanted it to be everything. So like it's an open platform for everyone to come on and talk whatever they want to talk about. So it's been a journey and I love it. I think we were speaking before I did it because I announced it and then you messaged me going, oh my God, like, I just started mine as well. So shortly afterwards you did yours. I started mine. And I've been wanting to do it for like 5 years. So
why did you want to do it?
I just wanted to do it because I love chatting shit.
She definitely does. But
I love chatting shit. Do you know what I mean? Like that's my favorite thing to do. Like I love chatting shit. So I was just like, I can really relate to people on this because a girl can talk.
Well, podcasts are definitely, it's such a great medium. Like you've obviously had an era of radio shows and sort of all that. That's where people were sort of tuning into to hear like a spoken word or sort of be entertained through audio. But then I feel like that started changing because it became sort of, if you have a successful platform, you were part of a big corporation like a radio station or whatever media company that show belonged to. And therefore people, if you're part of a big machine, you just naturally start being told what to say, what you can say, what you cannot say, because you can affect sponsors and potential audience and things like that, and like people see through the bullshit all the time, and therefore, like, I guess that's why podcasts started growing. Like, I definitely feel the same. Like, it's such a fantastic medium. It just feels so free, and like the flow of it feels so free, as if you were really, because my favorite type of podcasts are also where you just sort of talk about various things, because I have many interests and I like to talk about many different things, not just one specific thing. I'm like not an expert in anything, but I'm curious about everything. Therefore, podcasts where you talk about, where you chant shit, are just the most interesting.
And I feel like with those type of things, when you're doing podcasts, like, well, I don't know for you, but for me, like, all my friends, like, that I do get on there, they're like, what's the topic? What are we going to talk about? And I'm just like, we're going to freestyle. It's not forced. It's not a forced conversation. Whatever comes to mind, we'll just talk about it. Unless there's like certain things that I do feel like I need to talk about, then I would definitely say like, okay, well, this is something that I'm going to target towards. Like, I did an episode on men's mental health, and that's something that I did plan. And I was like, no, this is something that I do want to talk about. And that was a planned episode. So I made sure I got one of my guy friends that's close to me, that's from like a South Asian, like a culture and ethnicity and background, like all that stuff. So he can come on it and talk about the South Asians' point of view of mental health for men. So for me, that was important. And that is something that I did plan. So certain things you do need to plan if there is a specific topic that you want to talk about, but not necessarily that I just think, oh, well, this is what we're going to talk about. Like, I don't do stuff like that. Like, I just let it happen. Anything. No, nothing is scripted. So that'll be a shocker to everyone, because nothing is scripted. These conversations are not planned. Like, literally, what you hear is what we thought of on the moment. That's it.
That's really good. That's really good.
Like, I try to keep it different at all times.
Therefore, because of that, it just feels natural when you listen to it, right? You just feel like you are in a room with you and your guests, and you're part of it, and you feel like you can engage in a conversation and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Why was men's mental health such an important topic to you, if you don't mind me asking? No. It's actually good that you asked me, because the reason why I wanted to talk about men's mental health was because the attention that I've been getting from my podcast has been an attention that I wasn't expecting to get from my podcast. I was getting strangers messaging me, DMing me basically, and there was one particular person that messaged me and DM'd me saying that, like, just saying like, well done, I'm proud of you. Like, I don't know this person. I don't know who this person is. I don't know their name. I don't know what they look like. I don't know anything. But this person out of nowhere just messaged me going, like, congratulations on your podcast. I really am, like, I think it's great that you're doing it based on, like, I did state that it is going to be based on South Asian culture as well, because I haven't found many podcasts that are targeted towards South Asian culture and like the ethnicity and the religion part. Like, that is something that I really do want to tap into. I feel like a lot of people, like, from our background don't have that many representatives of that. So that's why I did it. And this man, he just messaged me and he was saying like, he spoke about his mental health, and he was saying like, I'm a 30-year-old man and I'm going through depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. This is a complete stranger opening up to me, and it really touched my. That's great, because that's that's because of the way your podcast is, right? Because I'm guessing because the way your podcast sounds is free flowing and you feel like you're part of the conversation. Therefore, they felt like they can do that and open up to you. In a lot of cases, it's easier to do it with strangers than it is to do it with people close to you.
Yeah, and I think that was the case because clearly this man you know, he felt comfortable to talk to me and say, like, you know, I'm going through something and I'm struggling with it and I don't know how to talk to my family about it. And that was something that made me think, okay, well, this is something that really needs to be spoken about. I don't think a lot of people from South Asian backgrounds talk about mental health. And that's why I got someone from a South Asian background who is a man that's going to be able to relate to that. And, you know, the conversation was really interesting to have because it just showed me, this is just one person that had a conversation with like one of my close friends that I know through someone. And he was just like saying to me, he's like, listen, you know, like I've been through it so many times. I've had like waves of mental health and stuff like that. And I found it difficult, you know, like to at one point this, that. And, you know, like it just kind of puts things into perspective where you're just like, okay, cool. So a lot of men, I'm just saying it could be, it's not just South Asian men, it's men from all backgrounds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it made it harder as well because I think with South Asian people, white people and black people, there's a different approach to it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
in what way?
I feel like with South Asian men, well, not just men, but South Asian people in general, I think that it's like a very taboo subject, mental health. Like not just for men, but for females as well, to talk about that I'm going through something, you know, like I'm struggling and this is difficult for me. So I think in that sense, it's taboo, and people think that if I don't say anything, it's not happened. But there's everlasting effects afterwards. Like, you know, there's only so much you can ignore your mental health, right? Until then it crops up again, and then it's like a you know, like self-destruction mode, where you're just literally like, oh, I think I underestimated how bad it is.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
And a lot of men do hide their issues as well. They don't speak about it, you know.
I was gonna say, like, for men, definitely, even though I think like I think times are slowly changing for men in general from all backgrounds. Obviously, I don't know what it is like for people from the South Asian background. I can only speak from my own experience. But there is a stigma still, like, you know, you're supposed to be
this macho man.
You shouldn't show too many feelings, and that sucks because definitely, like you just bottle everything up and then it just blows up out of nowhere in a lot of cases.
Sad.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
sad.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why I did that topic. I thought it would be nice to, like, you know, I don't want it to be all female based. I want to get, like, you know, men involved, hear men's point of views. I don't want it to be like, you know, like, so, like, I have a feeling like my close friends are like, she's going to be doing man bashing talks on her podcast. Like, she's going to be bashing men, saying they're trash, which, you know, is subjective.
Well, I do know that you like to talk about it. But then who doesn't? Relationships are fun to talk about in general, and sort of all that, you know, dating and love life.
According to you, that is.
Well, isn't it fun to talk about? Of course it is.
Depends what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, but like every experience can be turned into something funny or enjoyable, at least some aspect of it. Like, you know, there's no point of taking stuff serious, right? Or like too serious, at least, depending on what you want in life. But
well, in what aspect?
I don't know. Dating, first dates. Those are the most ridiculous. Those are the most ridiculous times in like when it comes to your love life, because you're just like feeling out the person, and in a lot of cases you don't. The person you're meeting and the person, like if I'm a guy, the person that the girl is meeting in a lot of cases is not the true you. Is like your representative, as Chris Rock once said in one of his stand-up specials, because, you know, you're trying to present your best self, isn't it true? Oh, clearly not.
I can't lie. There's been 2 dates where I have not gone like portray my best. I went raggo to these dates, so I really can't relate. There were 2 dates that I just didn't make effort for.
Fair enough.
And I just went as me, but they still spoke to me afterwards. So
That's good.
Imagine they liked me at my lowest, so they must love me at my highest. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it down to that. Like, you know, if you can love me when I'm looking like trash, you can love me when I look great. Then
fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
Actually,
What's the worst date that you've ever had though?
worst date that I've ever had. I don't remember, to be fair.
God, you must
I
have
don't
had
know.
so many that you don't even remember.
I once. It wasn't the worst date, to be fair, but like I felt like I haven't acted like I should have, and what I mean by that, we just went bowling, and I just completely fucking smashed the. Like I got too competitive. And
Where's the
then
chivalry?
yeah, exactly, and then then we just went back to pay, and then the guy behind the counter asked what the score was, and she told him, and then he made me feel really shit because of that. He was like, "Well, that's you shouldn't act like that." I was like, "Well, but I want to win."
My competitive side came out. I can't help myself.
Yeah,
Basically, that's
exactly.
what he's trying to do. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but I don't really have any nightmare stories. Like, you know, like I've had many times people having some really shit experiences.
Shit dates, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I ever. I've never. No, no. Okay, yeah, I did.
Go
I
on.
did. I was trying to think like not. It's not like one of the worst dates ever, but I would definitely say it's one of those ones where I was just like, okay, so we're just here to talk about you, basically.
Oh, was it one of those?
So
Okay.
so the whole date was based on him and what his situation and his drama was. And basically from there I was like, you're emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
That's what I took from that date. So therefore in my eyes I was just like, this isn't gonna progress any further because you're just so emotionally unavailable. You don't know where you're coming and going.
Yeah.
I really don't feel the need to carry on talking to you. That type of thing.
Fair enough. Yeah,
But
that
that was it.
sounds it. It's like he'd rather have a date with a mirror rather than you, essentially.
Yeah, basically, I should have just put a mirror in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually curious because I spoke to my friend a couple of days ago, and I'm curious, what is it like? What is dating like for a Muslim South Asian girl? The reason why I'm asking is because that friend had an experience. She's on one of these websites or apps called Match, I believe.
Mismatch, yeah.
Yeah, and the experience is more often than not that she's had where like catfishing essentially. So like guys, you know, saying or like I'm this and this, I'm 6'1" and doing this or that, and then when she actually went to meet that person, it turned out to be some like 5'2" guy that's like, you know, just looks and feels nothing like the actual description, and she just went home straight away. It's like you're not the person that I was meant to meet. So bye.
Yeah. So I have been on Mismatch. I was on Mismatch for a bit of time. So I was on there from July to October. That I think that for me, that's a very long time. Like that's like what 3 months on Mismatch. I found it very overwhelming. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I feel like with dating apps in general, I don't think it's even got to do with the South Asian thing. I think it's got to do with every ethnicity and culture, whatever, a religion type of thing. I think when you go on these dating apps, you're so blindsided because there's so many people on there. There's so many options. And I feel like once you find someone and you click with that person, then you're in the back of your head, you're going to be thinking, I can find someone better. So you're going to carry on being on that app, and you're going to try and find something better than what you already know, like what you've got. And I think that is really detrimental to people's mental well-being as well, because you're just constantly on that and you're thinking that you can find better. You build like a kind of a
So it's more of a game. So it's more of a game rather than
actually... like you're just like, I can find better, so let me go on it. Or you're going on it for the wrong reasons. I feel like people that go on Mismatch go on there for the wrong reasons as well. Like this person that I spoke to you about, like the date situation where he was talking about himself, he clearly went on that website because he got out of something and he needed something to like bide his time, basically. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to stuff like that, it's not healthy because there's certain people, I don't say I wouldn't say all of them go on it for the wrong reasons, but I feel like when people go on dating apps like that, they need to go on it for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons. A lot of people that go on these dating apps are emotionally unavailable. They're getting over someone. They want to get under someone. There's so many things, but there are some people on there that really do want to settle down, because that site itself is for people to ultimately to get married. You know what I mean? Islamically, that's like a Muslim way. Like, you know, they say on the bio as well, like how many years you want to get married within. Like you can choose from 1 to 2 years or 3 to 4 years and stuff like that. So there is options and that stuff like that. So
does it work sort of like Tinder, where you just like swipe left and right? And
so it's basically like Tinder. So you look at the person's bio, you look at their picture. Sometimes their picture's blurred, sometimes their picture's not blurred. So you just pick and you're just like, okay, cool, no, I can't relate to you. The main thing is go on their bio and read what they're saying to you, because if they have written a lot on their bio, this is what I got, okay? If you've written a lot on your bio, that means that you're serious.
Okay.
That's what I'm taking from there. And if you've written, I like football, I like KFC, I like Netflix, I like whatever, that means you're not serious, because you're just bullet pointing. But there are some people that actually do like paragraphs. Do you know what I mean? And that's when you kind of know, like, okay, this person's on here for the right reasons, and they do want to ultimately they want to settle down. But for me personally, I've had like, I spoke to many guys on there. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I spoke to many guys. Some of them were bit too much. Like, you know, there was a guy that was on there that he was just like, I want to get our family involved already, and I'm like, I don't even know your favorite color, bro. Like, I don't even know what you like to eat. You know, I don't know nothing, and you want to get married already? Like, okay, cool, chill. But he was just like, no, I just want to settle down. And I'm just like, but I don't want to right now. Like, I just want to get to know you. And then there's people that are just like, you know, they talk to you and they want to really get to know you, what you like and what you don't like, build that type of thing. There's some guys that just waste your time and that are sexually frustrated.
Well, there's like I'm sure pretty much in every app, whether it's Match, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, like you just got to filter out through the bullshit, and there's a lot of that.
And from that app, I only met 3 guys.
Okay.
3 guys. The first guy that I met, we went on a few dates, and it was good, but you know, I don't know. It just didn't, like, you know, some things just don't work out. And then the second guy that I met, he defo lied about his height in that. Defo lied about his height. He goes to me that he's 5'10", and when I met him, he was like the same height as me, and I'm like 5'6", and I'm just like, where's the other 3 inches that you said?
Oh, okay.
Where are the other 3 inches? Did they get lost?
That could be a joke, but
you know, where are the other 3 inches that you had? And then the third guy was the guy that was just like talking about himself and his shambolic love life, and he couldn't overcome his trauma from his past relationship, so he decided to waste time.
Waste your time,
waste time. So that was that.
So if a guy is lucky enough to go on a first date with you, what are the most common mistakes that the guys make, would you say?
So the mistakes that guys have made,
that guys make in general, you can just generalize it even.
That I don't like, basically the stuff I don't like.
Yeah. Just like, you can generalize it a little bit. Just like, I'm curious.
Give me an example.
Guys have an example. I don't know. I can't speak for any girl really, but
tell me yours about girls. That will start. You tell me
most
yours
common
about
mistake.
Girls.
Most common mistake.
Go on. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not the first thing that comes into my mind. It's not a mistake necessarily, but because there's nothing you can do about it. But obviously, if you talk for an app, you don't hear that person really, and then you set up for a first date or something. And then when you actually go on it, if she has an annoying voice, I'm not able to go through with that.
You got to filter that out.
Yeah, I don't know what a mistake that a girl could make would be. I don't know, just being a dick. like being selfish.
Okay. Okay. So how many points do you want me to point out?
How much time you got?
I'll do 5. Um, one thing that really annoys me is that I really do watch out for is how they speak about previous relationships.
I've heard that
For
many
me,
times. Yeah.
please, like for me, if you're ever gonna go on a date, please don't bash the other person, because at one point you wanted to be with that person. So respect them for that. You know,
Yeah.
like no one put a gun on your head saying by force you got to be with them. So
Yeah.
don't bash them because you chose to be with them. So if it went downhill, that's on both of your parts as to why it went downhill. So it's a joint effort.
Yeah.
Thirdly is table mannerism.
Yeah. I was thinking about
Table
that too. Yeah.
mannerism,
Yeah.
like you can't be munching and crunching and slurping. Not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening. And like banging cutlery in your mouth. No, not happening. You know, like you're just like, ugh.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I do watch out as well how they treat the staff members on like first dates.
Yeah, that's true.
Waiters, how you treat them, that's a big thing for me. Like they're still people, so you need to treat them nicely.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the fourth thing will be how they talk about their family as well. I love a man that's family oriented and loves to do like family activities and stuff like that, because I'm a family girl.
Yeah.
So for me, that's really important. Family is everything to me. It doesn't matter, you know, like it doesn't matter. I can be arguing with my family 24/7, but I know for a fact that they're always going to have
Absolutely,
my back.
yeah.
And I also don't like when people try to do the upper hand thing.
What's
that?
Like,
so just say like you're talking to someone and, like you're just say you could be talking about jobs and stuff like that. Like there was one guy that I was speaking to, and, like I was saying to him, this was actually when I was working with you. I was speaking to one guy and he was saying to me, he's like, so what do you do? And you might say this is bad and I shouldn't do this, but I do this because I like to test men out. So you're going to be like, this freak. So what I do is I don't tell men that I've gone to university. When I was on that app, I never told them that I went to university. And I didn't tell them what I studied either. I told them what my part-time job was.
Yeah.
What it was. And it was actually working with beauty. Yeah. So makeup, skincare. So I'll drop that bombshell, be like, yeah, I work with makeup, skincare. And I would see how they would react and how they would treat me. And I would give it 2 days, see how they treat me from there. And if they'll treat me like an airhead.
Yeah.
A majority of the times, yeah, they did. They treated me like an airhead, like, oh, so you do all that. So you're that MUA type of thing. Blah. Basically undermining me and saying that I'm a bimbo. Yeah. And he was just like, they would just like say like snarky comments like, oh, you know, blah, 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 whatever they will say. Yeah. And then when I dropped the bombshell on them that I actually went to uni and I actually studied this and I actually got a degree, by the way, they would be like, oh, wow, really? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, so how comes you're doing this? And I was like, oh, well, you're not paying for my bills. Yeah. This girl needs to earn some coins. You know what I mean? Like I need to get money somehow.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to say that. So I don't like that whole situation of like, oh, I've done this at uni and I've done like economics and finance or whatever shit they do. And then they're just like, yeah, I work in one of the top 5s at PwC or whatever they do, you know.
Well, that's definitely sneaky, but it's definitely sneaky, but I don't mind it, to be fair, because if you test them like that, and if they treat you shit, then
it says a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They're not worth your
time.
It says
a lot
because it goes back to like going to a restaurant and treating staff. It goes back to treating past relationships and things like that. It's all about just like distance yourself a little bit from everything and get the stick out of your ass. And
just relax.
Yeah,
you know,
just
like
relax
it's not that
and-
deep. At least
Exactly,
I'm still
exactly.
earning.
Things can change, like, and
Yeah.
it's like no job is a bad job as long as you're doing everything that you want, that you need to do to fucking survive, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'll definitely drop that in as well and see how it is. And, you know, I think I was speaking to one guy and I was saying to him, like, oh, you know, I was working with you guys Monday to Friday. I was doing that.
Yeah.
And then I was working on weekends with my part-time job. So I was working 7 days a week, basically.
Yeah.
And
You're
I told
hustling.
him,
You're hustling.
yeah, you know, like I'm
Really good.
hustling. And I told him, was like, he's like, I'm working Monday to Friday and I'm doing weekends and I'm doing evening stuff. And I'm like, is this a battle of who's working the hardest or something?
Yeah.
It's like, get a grip of yourself. Like, do what you need to do. I'm doing what I need to do. Like, you know, I'm doing this because I want to do this. Like, I'm not doing it by force. Like, if I could turn around at any point and say I'm not working at all, and I could just live at home, you know, live lavish. I don't need to do anything, but I'm doing it because I want to do it. And, you know, I don't want anyone to undermine me because of the fact that I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is that, like, that whole situation of me working in beauty, that was something that was a hobby, and somehow it just carried on. Do you know what I mean? And I love that job because it's something that I get to express myself and I get to do whatever I want to do. Yeah. And then my, like, you know, my professional side, that's something else as well. Like, you know, I'm learning still in professional, whatever it is, whatever professional job I'm doing. So I don't think anyone's job should determine someone's, you know, you can be the most smartest person but have the most shittest skills in, like, you know, people skills. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's not a competition at all. Like,
no, it's not.
Exactly. This is just what you have to do at that time to do something else in the future. That's it's a really shit way of approaching it.
Yeah. But I have many things that I hate what guys talk about, but we will be here all day long.
We can save that for another episode.
Yeah, we can save that for another episode. But that's basically those 5 main points that I look at. Okay, last point would be if he doesn't have banter and I'm talking to a brick wall. You know, it's boring.
Yeah.
Like, what, you know, like, you've seen how I am, right? And you know, I'm always cracking jokes and I'm always being funny and I'm making a joke out of myself and I make myself look stupid. Yeah. So if someone can't entertain alongside with me, like, you know, crack up and be like, Akey, you're just...
A silent type that's also an introvert definitely wouldn't last with you.
No, definitely. You know what I mean? When they're just like staring at me, like, what is this girl doing? And I'll be like, oh my god, like, I'm just trying to
just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. I'm just laughing and just imagining that situation. It's just hilarious.
Can you imagine? You'd be just like, this guy's not gonna last.
She's gonna eat him alive.
Literally. You know what I mean? I'm very outspoken as a person, so I'll literally be like, why are you not cracking a joke? Are you right? Yeah. That's but hilarious. That's it.
Fair enough. Cool. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Thank you for coming on to the show. Pleasure to talk to you. People can find your podcast, The One Podcast, on Acast and Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
Is it every Wednesday? New episode every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday. Yeah. Sweet. So I've changed it up now. So it was at one point Sundays, but I was like, Wednesdays seem much more fun.
Perfect.
So let's do Wednesdays. Yeah.
Great. And follow One Podcast on Instagram and follow Akey on Instagram as well. Yeah. Thank you very much. You can find the links below. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Akey, for coming onto the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
No pleasure. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Bearded Discussion Podcast. If you like the show, subscribe and follow your host, Simon Binkowski, on YouTube and Instagram. Share it with your friends and tune in next week. See ya.